Welcome to The Leaders Who Care, a podcast powered by Dynamis Group. We are here to give the stage and support to those committed to create a positive and lasting impact, way beyond the profits and margins, the leaders of the world who care for others and serve a bigger purpose. Join us on the journey of creating a better, more caring world. And now to your host, Marian Temelkov.
Happy Friday, dear audience, and welcome back on The Leaders Who Care. It's the 114th episode, and it's a privilege to welcome a very special guest today, someone that is apart from being leading a church and being really committed his life to follow Jesus and do a lot of great things in this world. He's also an entrepreneur and also have spent many of his years in corporate career, and he has a lot of teachings and lessons that I believe will be very helpful and useful to not only the current leaders but also the up and coming, the next generation, the successors, and this is what we're deeply passionate about, to bring leaders who care from every corner and every industry and every area of the world to share their teachings and be of a blessing to humanity. So I have the privilege to welcome Ransford Jones. Ransford, thank you for joining us today, and welcome on The Leaders Who Care.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It is really a privilege to be here with you, Marian.
Well, here in The Leaders Who Care, spirituality is a very important topic for us because we believe in that. And it's very important that we are sensitive to this, to the spirit, and really understanding what does it mean in terms of leadership, in terms of how do you define leaders who care from the excellence of spirit. And would love to maybe hear a little bit more about you first, your own journey, your roots, where you started and why you're doing what you do today. How did you get this calling? And also would love to talk about the recent book that you've published, The Principles and Practices of Productive Leadership in the Context of Care. So please go ahead and tell us more of your own journey and why you do what you do today.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor again to be here with you. I am originally from Jamaica. My journey started there. Parents have 8 of us, and growing up there, we have our challenges, but also a wonderful experience. I am now living in Canada. As you can see the background, we see the snow on the mountain there.
Greetings to Canada, by the way. We love Canada.
Thank you. And I've lived in Canada for the past 30 years, so I've been in Canada for a while. But I have long journeyed in the area of leadership and management. When I went to college, I studied management and leadership, and that progressed me on a path when I came to Canada, working in corporate Canada for over 20 years, working with huge corporations like Toyota and Hyundai, promoted to leadership role, executive role in those companies, leading in marketing and sales over a period of 10 years in that level of leadership. So the experiences that I've garnered through corporate Canada led me to even to write the book that I wrote that we'll speak of a little later. But my journey of faith also began from I was in Jamaica, and that has shaped my character, shaped my life, shaped my destiny as to where I am today. I have worked in for-profit and for-profit organizations. I am a part of a huge global church organization called the Church of God, and we have churches in 186 countries around the world. And in Canada here, I have served on the executive level of that organization. We have what we call regional level and the national level. I am also serving on the national board of this organization here in Canada. So those experiences help to shape my understanding and belief of what leadership is all about, and especially leadership that cares, and leadership that are productive. And it is out of that experience that I was able to write the book that I wrote, and hopefully as we share that today, it will give some insights and some revelation to those who are watching, and that will help you to understand a little bit more, maybe to enhance your capacities and capabilities as it relates to leadership, and in particularly leaders who care.
Please tell us what is your view on this, because that's really very important. And you talk about the character of the leader as plays a key role. But tell us more about the your real experience and insights into what is caring leadership.
Yeah. Caring leadership is critical, especially the times that we're living in, especially as we are coming out of the post-pandemic era, where we know that the pandemic has ravaged many lives in terms of affecting people emotionally, spiritually, socially, financially, psychologically, all these negative effects that came upon people, and especially people in the workforce, people in organization, whether you're in a service organization, whether you're in a not-for-profit or for-profit organization. So it takes a leader that care about people. And in this time, people are looking for leaders who care not only for the product that they're producing or the profit that they're making at the end of it, but also for the people themselves. How do we care for staff? How do we care for our team members? Leaders, I think, have a moral responsibility to ensure that the people that they lead are taken care of. And how do they do that? First of all, a leader who cares must be a leader of integrity. Integrity is a very, very important thing, a very, very good thing. So people know that as a leader, they can trust you. What you say, you will do, you will follow through on it. And the next thing I think a leader in this time needs to demonstrate is empathy. Empathy is such a powerful, powerful thing that people are, especially, as I said, coming out of the post-pandemic era that we are all struggling out of during this time, that people need leaders not just to be top down in terms of their leadership, but also to be relational with their team and with their staff, showing great empathy, because people are genuinely struggling coming out of this pandemic era. And if you're leading people and you're not showing that level of empathy and care for them, people will become discouraged. People will leave the company, and sometimes the turnover in company can cause damage and effect on the company, because sometimes you lose good people because they don't believe that you care enough for them. You're not empathetic enough for their own experiences. And so these things are very, very critical. The third thing I would say, compassion. As leaders, and especially even from a spiritual perspective, we got to be compassionate to people. All of us journeys are different. We come from different background, different socioeconomic background, different cultural diverse background, and people see life and experiences through different lens. And sometimes it is out of the crucible of their experiences. They made an effort to come to job or to come to the organization. And when they find a compassionate leader, as I said, who care about the personhood, not just the profit that they're making, that is so critical to helping people.
This is absolutely very important what you just shared on the integrity, and I'm sure you also, when you talk about compassion, that incorporates the humility, what you're referring to, of
Yes.
really being in that. And so, if we talk about the book, what inspired you to write the book?
Yes. As I said, because I have been in a great degree of leadership, I've served on numerous boards, profit and non-for-profit organizations. I have garnered such an experience in serving and working in that capacity. So I feel as if the experience, the knowledge, the wisdom that I've garnered over almost 30 years, uh, I felt led to put it into a book. And as you know, I'm also a facilitator on leadership seminars and conferences. I do these things. So out of that experience, I figured that it would be great to compile a book with some of these very, very insightful thoughts. And hopefully those who read the book will garner a few things that will help to enhance their leadership capabilities. And that's what really the book is all about. So I was driven by that. I would say that it has been incubated in me for many years, and I felt the push to get it out there in this time. And I think, even through the pandemic, you had more time to reflect and to think through things, because in that time when you're locked down, there is a lot of stuff that we're able to do in going out and working during that time. So that gave us some time to reflect and to get the book together.
I'm very interested in the practices and principles. I obviously would recommend for the audience to take a deeper look, but can you share some of those? Is it a framework in the principles and practices? How is it structured? Just to a little bit of a snippet, so an insight to the
Yeah,
main topics that are covered in the book.
yeah. I have 15 chapters in the book, and I said that if you're reading the book, there are certain things that may jump out on you. There are certain things that will be applicable to your own personal experience, your own personal development as a leader, and sometimes even through our journey, especially in corporate life or in leadership. Uh, I have been to all the major gurus that are out there, and I've picked up, just a few snippets or what we call golden nuggets from them. And these are some of the things that you implement and practice to help you along your journey, to help in your own personal development. And and if you can find a few things out of this book to help you on your journey, then I believe that it was worth for you getting the book. But I believe that there's some fundamental things that leaders must adopt and practice, and especially leaders who care, because leaders who care are ultimately productive leaders. So there is a connectivity, there is a connection between leaders who care and leaders who are productive, because most of these practices are similar, and also a part of that linkage, leaders who care and leaders who are productive. So the first thing I believe that a leader who care is someone who creates the vision for the company, the vision for the organization, identifying whether through their own personal belief, what they want to achieve in that organization or in that company. So they create the vision. So and sometimes it is mainly for those who are sole proprietor, or you're just an entrepreneur. Larger corporate organization maybe have a combination of different leaders brainstorming and developing a vision for that. But if you're a sole proprietor or a small entrepreneur, you are the one who's the creator, the one who conceptualizes a thought, an idea, and then that idea is now transferred into what you call a vision, and that could be developed by your personal belief, what you set out to achieve down the road, how big you want that organization to go and to grow, the people whom you want to use in that organization to help you facilitate the growth and the development of an organization. so it can become profitable, or the service that you offer, that service will be meaningful and helpful to society. So creating the vision is a critical component of what leaders does. The second thing, and you can interject here, Marianne, on a different point.
No, number one is vision. So absolutely a vision that is compelling, that is really serving as a blessing to others, without a doubt, and really staying on course. I'd love to hear the other major chapters that, or let's say,
Yes.
and is that in order of priority? The vision is like really the first thing you need to, or well, apart from your character, I think it starts from there. But what you're saying is the leader needs to have a clear vision.
Yes, absolutely. And some people use what they call a vision board. A vision board that you write down the things, or you put the things into place that you want to see happen. And sometimes that vision is not constant. It is evolving. Today something might be there that you think is work, but when new technology comes in, for example, the new AI craze that is happening today, whether it's Chat GPT or any of those AI things which are being used today, people adapt those things and help them to enhance the very vision that they once conceptualized. So it is a moving thing too, even with that vision board. And the second thing that is critical for leaders who care and productive leader is how you communicate now that vision. Communication is one of the most critical component and one of the most powerful principles that a leader has, because once you now conceptualize a vision and then you have it, you need to communicate it now to the people that you want to help you execute that vision. You also want to communicate that vision to the mass, to the larger society, whether it's an organization that is for profit, that you want people to come and buy your product, or it's a not-for-profit organization, including even the church. You have to communicate what you want to achieve so people can understand what it is all about, so you'll be able to get your messaging out there, so that you'll be able to help you in achieving the objectives and the things that you really want to achieve. So communication it's such a critical, absolutely important thing when it comes into organizational development, and how you communicate this vision and this strategy to the people who are in your organization, to your team members. You communicate that, of course, with a level of care and wisdom and understanding, so that they get the clarity of the message. Not only the leader always is speaking out the vision, but they're also keen and listening, because a great part of communication is not only speaking but listening. It is said that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? So even as leaders, we must be keen to listen to the perspective, to the ideas of even those who are around us. I often tell people that even within the boards that I operate with, and even my church board, that I'm not the smartest person there. There are people on my team who are smarter than me. So I need to be keen in listening to their perspective and make they feel important, and that I am listening to them.
So communication, very well aligned with listening. So basically listening more, but communicating well are the two. I honestly have seen many times where a lot of disasters, a lot of issues are born by either poor communication or not clarifying, and often assuming things that may not be meant or be true, really. So thank you for sharing this.
Yes. Yeah. The third thing now is delegate. How you delegate responsibilities. If you want to expand and to grow and to develop, you have different teams or different people leading different teams, whether it's sales or marketing or production or manufacturing. You have different people. So as a leader, as you grow, you have to delegate responsibility, except you're a sole proprietor. but if you're an expanding business or an expanding organization, you have to learn to delegate responsibilities. That this is how the leader conveys the responsibilities and the authority to the team, in knowing that the people that you have brought along with you on the team, they have certain level of experience, skill set. Some of them are very idealistic. So you got to tap into that reservoir of experience and skills that you have with these people that you employ, or these people who are part of your organization, so that you can delegate the responsibility to them. So delegate.
But that's not easy sometimes for entrepreneurs that they have built all of their, let's say, it's like their own baby, passing it on
Yes.
to someone else. What is your advice to those that do not only feel comfortable, but often they don't trust very much the someone else? They think
Good
they're the
point.
best to do it.
Yeah, good point. And you have people like that, because I have conceptualized this, I have designed this, I have created this thing. It is mine. But I think the benefit of understanding the importance that the people that you have around you, or the people that you have employed, in your vetting of them, you must have detected some skill levels, some skill sets that will be beneficial to you. So leaders need to share, need to delegate that, because what it does, it takes off some of the burden of you, take off some of the responsibility of you. It gives you, it frees you time up with you, so you can even now become more thought leader. You can
You
become more
touched something.
innovative in your thinking,
You
and
touched something,
because
which is the time. Yeah.
yeah, because you know that you have, even if you have developed some people around you, they grow with you, and over time the trust is developed, so you may be able to give that people a responsibility. I remember when I was in a former organization, I started there as a sales person in the organization with Toyota, right? And then I grew over a few years, and the management, the leaders started trusting me. They appointed me as the assistant sales manager. And then I morphed into different part of the organization, into being financial manager, lease renewal manager. Then I move on to become a marketing and sales manager. So there is a level of growth, experience, and trust that leaders must identify with their people, and allow them now, give them the freedom, that autonomy, to run a department, or to run a production line, or to run a service sector in the organization, to make the organization grow and be more effective. The third thing I want to talk about, as a leader who cares and a leader who is productive, is how you motivate your staff. Now, motivation is so important.
So just to recap on before we move to motivation here. So the argument here for people that is finding it difficult to trust and delegate is, think about all the free time you're going to gain and the joy you're going to have. So
Absolutely.
that's what your counterpart and the fruits of this is. So yes, it may be hard. Yes, it may not come naturally, but it can be trained. Do you think it can really build that over time if you make a conscious effort at the beginning, and then it will become more natural later on?
Yes.
Because time is one of the most precious thing we have, right? What is
Oh yeah. Yes.
what is the desire of a dying man? It's not more money or more honor. It's more
Exactly.
time. So it's a good argument what you're saying. Make sure, yeah, find a way to delegate, because if you don't, it will limit your growth, and will take away a lot of your time and often joy. So that's a great and
Absolutely.
so moving forward to the fourth one is the motivation of
Yeah, the motivation part of it.
how yeah, from your perspective, how do you motivate, or what is important to motivate the people?
Yeah, you identify even their strength and even their weaknesses, and is like a coach on a football team or on a basketball team or whatever. When you're coaching somebody, sometimes you might see some deficiencies. It is up to you to identify those things and communicate that to them. you also applaud those who are also doing very good. So that will inspire them even to do better. So a leader must be a motivator of the team. Sometimes, for example, when I was working in sales, sometimes the atmosphere, how things work, especially a recession might be on the move. The economic condition might not foster the growth, so we can meet the targets that we set for that month or for that period. And oftentimes people become dejected, they become discouraged because things are just not falling into place and being how they want it to be. As a leader, you got to dig deep down within you to know that, hey, I'm the leader, I'm the coach of this team. I must motivate my people through speech and through activities, right? So that people will know that, listen, I know sometimes things are rough, things are not going as smoothly as we want it to go, but listen, I use a slogan called "One Team, One Dream." We're one team and one dream. So
I love that. One team, one dream.
yeah. So we come along and we motivate people. A pat on the back, take somebody out to lunch. There's so many different things that one can do to drive inspiration, to motivate your team members. That listen, we're in this thing together. These might not always be perfect, but listen, there's room for growth, there's room for development, and I'm here for you. I'm here with you. I have an open door. Some high level executive don't have that kind of a thing, with your staff, but it depends on the level of the organization. Having an open door when your team member or your staff can come and say, listen, this is what's happening, this is what I'm going through. How do I deal with this? It's a very, very important motivational factor. And I think that leaders must be keen to identify those things and motivate their staff, especially during this time that we're living in.
Please continue. What's number 5? Now you're building anticipation.
Yeah, I know. Number 5 is about cultivate, in terms of cultivating an environment within the organization, an environment that fosters a good atmosphere within the organization. And sometimes some organization atmosphere are very toxic. Some organization environment are very polluted and polarized by different things. But the leader must set the tone in the organization, that there are certain things that will not be tolerated. For example, the idea of ensuring that even within the context of how we live in North America or in Europe or whatever, that there's a strong element of people who are coming from different background, different ethnicity. So you curate and cultivate the organization that is open up to diversity, open up to people of different skill sets, so that you cultivate a certain level of atmosphere within the organization. I remember one of the organizations I was working with, what they do every quarter, right? They put the team and the employees in different Olympic groups. So they say that you're in one Olympic group, and every quarter they have people who are assorted from different parts of the company. If you were in a mechanic or in sales or in marketing or in administration, then everybody would come together as groupings, and they would clarify or communicate the vision to us and get everybody mixed up, so to speak, and show that the company is a diverse company. So the culture that one cultivates within the company is left up to the manager. So the manager must ensure that there are policies and procedures and practices within the company that cultivate a positive culture within the organization, that people know that this is a great place to work, and that when you come to work, whatever your background is, you are coming to a safe place. You're coming to an environment that is positive, an environment that is accepting, an environment that is there to help you grow and develop as a person within your own sphere of what you do within the organization.
We
So,
love that.
I think the culture is critical.
We love that. What you just talk about cultivation. What is your advice to leaders who have, um, let's say, high temper? Like they could often be emotional and not patient with people, because you talk about where people want to come to work and motivated to come to work, and they find it a safe place. What is your message to the ones who are not there yet, and
Yes,
maybe have this
yes,
high
yes.
temper?
And
Because that's often causes a problem to the people and creates fear.
yes, there are still leaders today who, and they're in the minority. I would say they're in the dwindling minority who are bordering on being narcissistic. It is my way or the highway, and sometimes how they lead, how they govern, comes out of their past experiences, and now because they're in a position of leadership, they carry this military style with them in leadership. But in research, I understand that kind of a leadership, top down, heavy down, is a dwindling kind of leadership. It is almost getting outdated. Uh, People must, especially again, I have to reference the post-pandemic period that we're living in, that people are on the edge. People are stressed out. People are workers. The workforce is going. Many people are in depression. Many people are struggling with post-COVID stress and anxiety. So leaders must be super careful how they communicate. And again, we spoke about empathy. Empathy now has become a huge thing within organizational workforce. Empathy and compassion and understanding where people are. I'm not saying that leaders mustn't hold people accountable. Leaders must hold people accountable, but it's how you do it, how you communicate to people is critical in building a culture that is acceptable, a culture that and an atmosphere that people want to come to work and to feel positive working. Because when that happens, people contribute more. They will go beyond and above to to. I remember even sometimes working in a different organization because I felt the atmosphere was so good. Working overtime, going beyond, and staying back in overtime because even the camaraderie among staff is so important that hey, I could spend other few hours at work because I feel that comfort level there.
That's it. That's what good leaders, good coaches do. And we had some comments. We want to thank Anastasia, who's saying a leader acts like a coach and lead the team to their mutual dream. It's really
Absolutely.
something of course of value. So thank you for the comment, Anastasia. Moving forward, how many more would you have?
Well, the ones that I would identify that is relatable to the caring
Mhm.
leader. We talk about accommodate. How do you accommodate your team members or other people's perspective?
Mhm.
As you mentioned earlier on, some leader they conceptualizes the vision, they have the plan, they have the strategy,
So number
but
6 is accommodate,
yeah,
basically.
I kind of skip over. Yeah, six is accommodate. Or you accommodate other people's idea and make them feel that they're part of the team. Because as I said, that they're people that you hired or come into your organization, if it's a not-for-profit organization, who are loaded with experiences and ideas that can help you develop, help you morph your own vision, your own plan, and they're there to help you to execute, to ensure that at the end of the day, you are productive and profitable. Or if you're just doing a service, that the service is done excellently and the outcome will benefit the people that it is there for. So accommodating the ideas of your team members and of your staff is critical to building the organization. So accommodating other people's idea is such a very 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 important thing. When we say accommodate, People brings new idea to the table. But it is the leader's responsibility to give them that space so they
Yes.
can communicate their ideas without
You
being judgmental
do you
towards people.
do you find a link between all this to accommodate, or let's say you said something about atmosphere where they be accepted, atmosphere they thrive, something we're deeply passionate about. How can we help more people to thrive at work, which and not to be afraid to speak
Yes.
up, to really, as you say, to accommodate? um, do you think there's a direct correlation between the atmosphere and the innovation?
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It is. It is because what you're doing, you are giving people opportunity to be thought leaders, to be to think out of the box, to open up the space for them, especially if people are in production, in manufacturing. There is you can create an ecosystem or a research department. You find those people who are brilliant and smart, and those who are idealistic about
Hmm.
being innovative and being in the forefront of change, and being adaptable to new technology. You find those people, so you accommodate those ideas, and the team members who sometimes have the passion for this kind of stuff. So it is important that leaders identify these things and give the opportunity for people to thrive in that way.
Awesome. What is number 7?
Number 7 is to collaborate. Collaborate is such an important thing. You collaborate with people in the organization, also people outside of the organization, because there are suppliers, there are other people that you have to work with outside of the organization, or even in different departments of the same organization. And sometimes even in large organizations, some people can be territorial, if it is in manufacturing or on the production side. They have no relationship with the people on the sales side. So there's no collaboration. So the leader have to ensure that system flows so smoothly. A large organization like Amazon have literally perfected this, because they have developed a system that can get you next day delivery. How a huge organization like that can be able to develop that kind of a process? It's just because they understand the benefit, the importance of collaborating, that people and departments and entities collaborate together to make the system run smoothly. But sometimes, especially in small organizations, people can become territorial. It is our department, and we don't have a relationship that will run so smoothly between manufacturing, between sales, between marketing department, and then sometimes things doesn't run as smoothly as it ought to be. So collaboration is just such a critical and important thing.
Awesome. Absolutely. And that's lead by example, I guess, is also a great way to encourage this collaboration. Maybe even encourage a bonus system, like when you
Yeah.
create this as well, because you could also stimulate those behaviors in the organization. So I think when you link the actual targets with certain behaviors, it can become really incentivizing and a way of part of the culture as well.
Yeah.
What else is important? What is number 8?
Well,
Or
yeah.
you have many, but
I think I'm just have three more. And I know time is running out. But we also look at the importance of validation, or you validate people within your organization. A good leader put in the effort necessary to make sure that the system, processes, and people are creative and cohesive. That you validate what people are doing. You know that if somebody is leading a department or a different part of the organization, that you validate them. You said, listen, you're doing a great job. there's a correlation between motivation and validation that I think is critical for leaders to understand and to practice. That a person who feels validated, even somebody who might not have the skill set, who might not have all the skill set to do the work, but over time, gradually, they learn, they re-educate themselves, they continue to develop themselves, and then they become like a rising star within the organization. You validate those people and you give them opportunity for growth and development. Nothing is as good in an organization than a promotion. A person who have done a job well done, and he said, wow, when the evaluation time comes, listen, there's an opportunity, there's an opening here. We want to validate you by promoting you to that position. So identifying those people and validating them for the work that they do, I think a leader should do that and do it often in your organization.
Absolutely. That's how everybody grows. And
Yes.
would you mind to share a couple of more? Maybe make it the top 10
Yeah.
principles. And of
Yes,
course,
just two more. There's two more I have, and that's what is how do you compensate people, right? You validate them, but you also compensate people, right? The salaries that you pay them, the increase when the company is profitable and the company grows. I believe that company should give their staff bonuses, find ways to compensate, and those who help you to reach the target, those who are, the rising star. For example, when I was in sales and you meet the target, you are probably the number one salesperson of the month or of the year. They give you bonuses, they give you trophies, they compensate you. It adds such a value to the whole process, and you as an achiever within the company, it makes you feel good. And it motivates you now to even do better. And because you're going to do better, and the company does better, the organization does better. So compensating people is such a powerful thing for leaders and managers to do within the organization. Some companies have great benefit packages. Over here in Canada, we have what we call a RSP. You have 40. In America, they have 401k. Not sure what they have in England, but those are stuff that employees opens up to the employees, and they match whatever the employees can put in, and over time it becomes a part of their retirement fund. And so there are different ways of compensating people, and companies who compensate people well, people want to stay with those companies. People want to work for this company and give their best to it. So compensate is good. Absolutely. And finally, I believe that every leader should celebrate. Leaders who care celebrate people, celebrate their achievements, celebrate their accomplishments, celebrate them for. I remember this ring I'm wearing here today.
Yes,
it was my 20 years anniversary ring of Toyota. For 20 years, I was there, and they said that I'm giving you a ring because of your 20 years investment in the company. Plus, they gave other stuff too, right? This is just an example, but celebrating people, it makes people feel good. It makes them feel a part of the organization, a part of the team, and that in itself will motivate people and inspire them to be more committed to serve. So you have limited amount of turnovers within the company, and people who stay with the company help to build your company and to build your organization. So it is important that every year they would have like a Christmas party. Everyone dress up nicely and come to the Christmas party, and people look forward to that. Every quarter there is an announcement of those who help to achieve the target. If we make target, we are taking out to a restaurant and you have a nice meal. So these are little perks that is so good in celebrating people and celebrating their achievements. So a leader must find that opportunity to ensure that you celebrate the people, because why? You care, and productive people,
and bring lots of joy. Yeah, celebration is a joy of life, something that is really that we could do, celebrate often and with good reason.
Yes.
Of course, it's not just to celebrate. Of course, when we're serious and we do work, we perform. but that moment, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes, and something
Yeah.
happens in the day, or that end of the day, it just brings a whole different level of engagement. And thank you for sharing that. That's really a great reminder. A lot of those things probably are natural. People may know, but just putting them in such a structure in your unique way, it reminds us how important they are,
Yeah.
and really powerful they are. For the ones who want to basically take a deeper look into your book and maybe look at the whole principle, let's say, how could they buy it, reach out to you? Okay,
But
so this
it's on Amazon. You get it on
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah.
Can you lift it again just to make sure everybody sees it? And I'll
It's
repeat, this
called The
is
Principles and Practices of Productive
Productive
Leadership.
Leadership, Ransford C. Jones. Great. Well,
Yeah.
Ransford, thank you for really taking the time and
Oh, thank
committing and
you.
really sharing those insights in principle. We have a question that we always ask at the end. That is something which, of course, in that positive tone. And if there were no limits in your lifetime, um, what is one thing you want to see for a more positive and caring world? If you had no limits to change the world, to make an impact, what is that thing that you'd like to change to make the world a better place, a more caring
Yeah.
place?
I would like and I would like to see more people being extricated out of poverty. There's so many people around the world who still live in abject poverty, and we have so much resources in this world. Um, we know that when, for example, there's war in Ukraine, and which is a terrible thing, and but the resources that is lend to those activities, if we would transfer even 10% of those monetary value to help eradicate poverty across the world, all of us could live in a world where there is no poverty. So you know, I'm
Well,
coming from a journey myself, even growing up in some level of poverty in Jamaica myself, where I came from, and so that's one thing I would want to see to help to eradicate poverty and education, educating people, and from a faith perspective, the compassion, the love, the care for people, and that's what Jesus demonstrated in his journey and in his gospel, that we should care for each other. So those are the things I think I would change.
he's the greatest care of the world, and of course, more salvation, eternal life for people, which is
Yes,
what he gives us as the greatest gift.
yes.
And we thank God for you. Blessings go to you, your
Thank
family,
you.
your church, your team, and was a pleasure to have you today. And it was wonderful to hear those teachings. And thank you for being a leaders who
Thank you.
care. And God bless you.
You're welcome. Bless you too. Thank you so much, Marion. Keep up the great work you're doing. Thank you so much, you and your organization.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Randy.
you. Have a great day.